Hey everyone, marhaba. Our next family of letters, Saad, Daad. We call them family because whenever you start learning Arabic letters, you need to do it in a group of families, since each group have the same body letter. The next letters, Saad, Daad, are a family of letters that are written the same way. For this family of letters, you only need to know how to write the body of the letter. Then positioning the dot for the different letters is easy. How to provide the measurements for these letters? This is so important. Even if it's not going to be to the millimeter, there is a trick for that. I always use alif stick. I don't really write it down as in this example, but I try to imagine it next to my letters to have a reference for my measurements so that the letters don't appear small or big or disproportionate to each other. With the alif stick, we are going to use it as a reference. We divide it into 3 equal parts. Later, with more practice and confidence, you will be able to see that one letter is bigger than another, without having to use alif for the proportions. Now, let's move on to the next family. The letters Saad and Daad. Just like with other pairs we've seen, the only difference between them is the dot. Saad has no dot, and Daad has one dot on top. These letters aren't hard to write. Just imagine a whale or a fish shape when drawing them. In terms of height, Saad and Daad are slightly taller than Ba, but the difference is subtle. They don't reach halfway up the alif stick. They're lower than Dal, for example. Important writing tip: always start Saad and Daad from below the line, not on the line. Why it is important? Starting below sets up the shape correctly before you draw down into the part that looks like the letter Noon. Saad in its different positions. Let's break down the different forms of Saad depending on where it appears in a word. First position, isolated final form, not connected. This is the full standalone version of Saad that appears at the end of a word by itself. You start from below the line, shape the whale body, and then curve down like Noon. This part right here, the little tooth shape, is mandatory when you're learning to write Saad or Daad. It's just like we did with Ra and Z. We draw that small stroke above the line before curving down with the letter Noon. Second position, at the beginning of a word connected on the left. Here we start the same way, from below the line, but this time we don't add the Noon tail. Instead, after the main shape, we go slightly upward, and then we continue smoothly along the line. That part tells us that the letter is still open. It's meant to continue. It tells the reader this letter is connected, the word isn't over yet. Very important. Never write Saad by skipping this detail. It might end up looking like Ta, which is incorrect. That rising part is what makes Saad recognizable in all its positions, beginning, middle, or end. Third position, in the middle of a word, connected on both sides. This version is similar to the beginning form, but now we are attaching the letter on both sides. What we do is add a small connection piece first, then draw the Saad shape. That connection part is essential. It's how the letter links with what comes before. When writing quickly, people often skip it. But when learning, don't skip it. Practice doing it right. Let's go over it again. Add a small connection piece first, then draw the Saad shape. Fourth position, connected at the end of a word. This final form is like a blend of the middle and isolated versions. You start with the connection piece, like in the middle, then finish with the full Saad shape that curves down, like in the isolated form. Think of it as Saad's closed form, but attached to the letter before it. Next, adding the dot for Daad. To write Daad, it's just like Saad, but with a dot on top. Here's how you place the dot. Focus on the round body of the letter. Don't divide the entire shape. Just divide the round part in half and place the dot above that halfway point. This helps center the dot naturally. Pay attention to the height of each letter. Saad should not be as tall as Del. It sits a little lower. Ba is shorter than both. Daad with a dot keeps the same height as Saad. Don't overextend it. Alright, take a moment to practice these shapes slowly and with intention. In the next part, we'll move on to another letter family that also needs some attention. Stay tuned. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. مع السلامة.